Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. I'm Chad Bumgarner, one half of the duo here, and I have with me my man Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
Hey, Pete, with that, let's go ahead and get into it.
And as always, our podcast is brought to you by Elect Graphics and Photography. Allow your visions to become reality. And CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
And ladies and gentlemen, if there's something you want to hear me and Pete talk about, give our perspectives, our insight on any topic, or if you just want to tell us what you like and what you don't like, that's fine too. Whatever it is, do not hesitate to contact us at our email address at ourvoice360@gmail.com. That's ourvoice360@gmail.com. Well, today is a big one, guys. We got to jump into it. It's about our culture, and we got to deal with it. We're talking about the Insecure show, Issa Rae's, baby, if you will. There seems to be some backlash on this show.
Oh, yeah.
It's apparent that one of the actresses, I think it was Amanda Seales, who wore the AKA colors and had on the shield on a jacket or a shirt or something to that effect, and it did not obviously sit well with the AKA members. And so there was a big backlash about her wearing their paraphernalia. And I know that the corporate office of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was quick to respond, asking everybody basically, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't want the AKAs coming after me. I'm paraphrasing, ladies, but basically corporate was like, y'all just chill, let corporate handle it. We have a duty to protect our brand. So, let us deal with it. I know the director of the show, Insecure, was like, hey, don't come at the actress. This was my decision. If you want to come at somebody, come at me. Just doing my job, representing. Sweetheart, that's all fine and good. But you know what? I'm going to save that, Pete. We're going to get into it. So, that's going to be our show today because we want to talk about that and why it's such an issue with the AKAs and why they are upset. And I 100% agree with them, why they should be upset. And also we're going to talk about the negligence of the show to not do their, due diligence. And then also we're going to talk more in depth about the Divine Nine, the BGLO, the Black Greek letter organizations, and what they mean to the communities and things of that nature. So, all right, Pete, let's jump into it. So we're talking about Insecure, the show, and how, they got into a big tiff about one of the actresses wearing the AKA's paraphernalia, when in actuality, the lady is not a member of the sorority. Right. And the actress came back and was basically like, yo, I'm an actress. Okay, this is a show. I'm acting. And basically the ladies of AKA said, we really don't care.
Right.
You do not put on our shield or our information or our colors like that with the shield when you're not a member.
Right.
You didn't earn that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, Chad. My first question to you, as you shake your head, what is your affiliation with the Divine Nine?
Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier in the intro. Thank you for asking, Pete. I am a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yo to the good news. Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's get something out.
Yeah. Let me do that, Pete. Let me do that on your behalf. my co-host and my partner, Pete Hunt, here is not affiliated or not a member. Affiliation don't matter. Either you're a member or you're not. Is not a member of any Greek organization, black or non-black. Okay.
Right.
He is on this show today, as always, but because of the topic we're discussing, we need everybody to be clear. He is not a member of any organization. That his information, well, not his information, his questions are purely from a non-Greek person who wants to know or wants to have some kind of insight about certain things. Okay, so let's just be clear on that. All right?
Please don't show up at my door. I don't want those problems. But again, Chad, as we talk about this situation with Insecure and Amanda Seales and the AKAs, the firestorm really began as a, you know, as you said earlier, like it was a slap in the face to the AKAs that, you know, how dare you, Issa Rae, use you use our colors, which, you know, using their colors, yeah, that's kind of a, you know, we like,
yeah, you can't really
you can't really get upset over colors. Yeah.
Right.
But to actually at this stage wearing the seal of the AKA, that was a bridge way too far. I mean, shield, yeah, wearing the shield was a bridge way too far for the sisters of the AKA community. So Chad, why would the AKAs feel this strongly about their shield and in a way their colors? Why would you, from coming from a person who's a member of the Divine Nine?
It's a couple of things. Number one, it's a registered trademark. Their shield, their hand sign, their verbal call, it's all registered trademark. You cannot use this without express written consent or admission or acceptance from the AKA corporate office. It's just what it is. And then on top of that, Pete, it's no different than trying to wear a Hall of Famer jacket. You know what I'm saying? Or what I'm saying is the ladies have a right to be upset, because any lady that puts on that shield, that's telling other ladies that see it, whether they're members or not, that they earned the right to wear that.
Right.
It's like a scenario where I tell my kids all the time, when you want something in life, when you want to achieve something or have something, you have to sacrifice something. So in order to become a part of this organization, these ladies, I don't know what it was, but they had to sacrifice in order to get it. It's no different than playing football or playing sports or, you know, becoming part of a company. When you get hired on, there are sacrifices that you're going to have to make when you become a supervisor versus an employee. When you become a manager or a director, there are sacrifices that you have to make in order to be in that position or to be a part of that organization. And these women are no different. And that's what it boils down to. You see somebody wearing the shield and they're not a member, automatically that offends a lot of people, because you didn't do what you needed to do in order to wear that. You don't understand what that means to us. Right. You don't understand what that shield, what those letters, what the history of that organization means to us. So for you to rock it just because you own a show, no, sweetheart, no, that's not enough. And then my thing is, Pete, this show Insecure, how are you so sloppy that you couldn't do an email or a call to their corporate office and say, hey, this is we're about to shoot an episode, you know, and just give the whole backstory, and this is what we want to do, this is how we want to do it, this is the storyline. Are you guys okay with this? Right. Does this disrespect you in any fashion? Does it align with any of the principles of your organization? Because see, like we said earlier, just the colors itself, people ain't gonna too much like that, but it's like ain't nothing we can do. You can't stop people from wearing colors. Right. But now when you put their shield on your chest or on a mug and you're holding it and you're wearing it, now you've gone too far. Right. Now you've gone too far. And for the show, the director, whoever, to not do something as simple as an email or phone call to this organization to make sure they were on the up and up. It just boggles my mind. And I know you said off air, Pete, that you just felt like maybe, you know, if you could get inside Issa Rae's head, it's like, hey, you know, let's do this episode and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, it was like I was telling you, I was like, even the NFL, when you get ready to watch the game, and even sometimes after the game, they say any reuse of this information without express written consent of the NFL is prohibited. AKAs are no different. The Black Greek letter organization, the Divine Nine, they are all incorporated. They are corporations. Right. Those are businesses. Every business, I don't care if it's one of the fraternity or sorority, or if it's IBM, or if it's Facebook, or if it's whoever, Every business has information that cannot be leaked because that's part of their success. It's just like if I work for Coca-Cola in the labs making Coke, and I understand and I learn what the secret formula is, you sign a document saying that what you create here and what you learn here, especially about the secret formula, you cannot divulge anywhere else, or you will be sued, or we will come after you. It's no different. The AKAs are an organization. They're incorporated, just like the rest of the Black Greek letter fraternities and organizations. It's incorporated. There's some information that you cannot divulge, or you will be sued. They can legally come after you. And again, I don't understand why this show just couldn't take 1 hour to set up a phone call with them to express what they were trying to do, how they were trying to do it, and get the AKAs feedback, and then eventually permission to do so. And then once you air the show, say, hey, before we get started, what you see and hear in this show pertaining to Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was reviewed, approved by the AKA corporate office or whatever. Now you covered. You're good.
Right.
Because number one, they wouldn't have allowed that woman. First of all, they would have told her, look, if any of the actresses are on your show and they are not official members, they cannot wear that shield anywhere. They can't hold a mug. They can't wear it on their jacket. They can't wear it on their hat. They are not members. They cannot. See, they would have known that off the gate. And see, that way they could have just stuck to maybe just wearing the colors and kind of, towing that line, but still being okay. You know what I'm saying?
So again, like on this show Insecure, it's not a secret that Amanda Seale and it's another star in the show that they're both AKAs in the show. It's readily known. It's not like it's a secret or anything.
The characters are AKAs.
The characters are. Not the people that. Now I'm not sure about. I know Amanda Seale isn't. Now I'm not sure about the other sister on the show. But the characters are AKAs, and that's well known, and whatever. But my question to you, Chad, is with Amanda Seale, she's not really well liked in a lot of spaces. Do you think it was, and like I said earlier, in previous episodes and previous seasons, I think one of the other character who's an AKA in the show had a mug with the seal on it. And I think she had some clothing with the shield on it, and nothing was said by the AKAs. But now all of a sudden, with Amanda Seale, it's an issue. So now, do you think it's a situation where it was more of Amanda Seale's wearing the seal of the AKAs? Shield. Wow.
It's okay. I got you.
Shield of the AKAs. Or was it just a blatant disrespect of the show not acknowledging them and saying and going to them and saying, look, we want permission to use your shield?
Pete, it could be a combination of the two. I can't really say for sure for the people who are providing the backlash. It could be because she's not very well liked. I don't know, but I do know for certain with the AKAs that they don't like the fact of you wearing their shield when you're not a member. I do know that. Now the other piece, I don't know. It's a toss-up. It could be and or.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It could be both. Yeah, it could be both. But to me it just goes back to the lack of preparation for doing this right. It was disrespectful. I know that was not their intent. Let me be clear on that. I know it was not the show's intent. But it was disrespectful. And I mean, like I said, that was a hour phone call that you could have had with the executive office of the AKAs to lay it all out and take their feedback and incorporate it into the show and do it the right way.
Right. Now, getting to some more deeper into the Divine Nine and the Black fraternities and sororities. From a personal standpoint, Chad, what attracted you to the Kappas? What attracted you to that organization?
Well, my stint on North Carolina A&T State University as a student, especially as a freshman, I got a chance to observe all the fraternities. there. And the thing that stuck out to me about the Kappas was their community service. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that the rest of the fraternities were not doing community service, but the only ones I saw were the Kappas. And a lot of times they were receiving donations for the St. Jude Children's Hospital, along with various other activities. I'm like, yo, they are more than just stepping and strolling and, just wearing letters. They actually are doing things in the community. Now, let me be clear. All of the Divine Nine have a huge part to play in our Black communities, where it comes from registering to vote to blood drives and coat drives and everything else. But what I'm saying is, at my time at A&T, this is what I observed. And so I looked into it, and I felt like, their principles, their 5 objectives and everything like that kind of lined up to who I was as a person. And so that's really what attracted me to Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. Okay,
then outside of, you seeing them and them lining up with, your principles and, you seeing their community service and stuff, how were you approached, or did you approach them, or did they approach you? How did that work?
No, I didn't approach them. I was a freshman. I really didn't know much about, Black Greek organizations until I got to school and, was just, watching them from afar, just trying to see what was going on. I was part of the football team there. And one of the players on the team was a noob, was a Kappa. There's another nickname for Kappas, noobs. He was a noob, and he reached out to me. He walked up to me, and we were talking in the hallway in the dorm. And he was like, "Hey, Chad, I want you to come to one of our meetings, man. I think you will be a good Kappa man. Come check it out." So I was approached by one of the guys to attend one of their interest meetings.
Okay, now, once you got your foot in the door, went to the meetings and this, that, and the third, without divulging everything, or what were some of the things that you had to go through to get this membership, to this great membership to this organization?
It was a journey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I can't speak for other fraternities and sororities, but every other organization has their own journey process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I will say, learning more about the organization, the history, the background, why it was formed, why we came to be, which I can talk about,
Okay. Yeah, it gives you, expound on that. Give us a little information on that.
We were founded at a white university, Indiana University in Bloomington. At that time, this is the turn of the century, 1900, 1908, 1909, 1910, 1911, in those areas, in that time frame. Blacks were not allowed, especially at white organizations, at white universities, to be a part of any organization or anything for that matter. So the few blacks that were on that campus, the brothers that is, kind of just got together and said, hey, we need to form our own. And it was just a brotherhood for just looking out for one another. You know what I'm saying? If you needed help in a math class or science class, or if you just needed somebody to lean on, or, you're homesick, or, just anything. It was just good to know that when you're away from home and you're in an environment where nobody really wants you there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? You've got a brother or some brothers that you can lean on to kind of help get you through those tough times, so that you can move on, and eventually graduate. So that's where it came from. But then it was like, let's form an organization. It turned from, and it's still a brotherhood, but it went from just, being a brotherhood to an organization. And the motto for our fraternity is achievement in every field of human endeavor.
Right. Now, who, to expound on that even more, who was your founder? And I know each fraternity and or sorority has their own colors. Now, who is your founder, and what are your colors?
Our colors are crimson and cream. Okay? I need everybody to understand that. Crimson, red and white is acceptable, but crimson and cream are the official colors.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the official colors. Our founders, we have 10. You know, we got Elder Watson. Yeah, we've got 10 founders. Elder Watson Diggs. Boy, the boy's gonna crucify me if I don't get that right. But he, in a lot of terms, is what they call the dreamer. He was the one who kind of just thought about this organization for the brothers. You know what I'm saying? We had Elder Watson Diggs, Byron Kenneth Armstrong, Ezra D. Alexander, Henry Turner Asher, Marcus Peter Blakemore, Paul Wayman Kane, George Wesley Edmonds, Guy Levis Grant, and then we have Edward Giles Irvin, and then John Milton Lee. So those are our 10 founders that were there, and we were founded on that campus January 5th, 1911.
Okay. Now I know from the outside looking in, there is a healthy competition between our black fraternities and sororities, and each one takes pride in, you know, in what they do and what they stand for and their principles and this, that, and the third. Who? And let's get deep.
He said, "Ooh." Okay, Bill Cosby.
Is your I would say, is rival the right word, or biggest? Yeah, right. We're gonna say rival in the divine now, because come on now, we it's all about competition.
Yeah.
Whether it's be in fraternities, sororities, or the football field, or the basketball court, or whatever. Right. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we all trying to shine. So what would you say as far as, you know, rivalries? And I know they're friendly rivalries. Who would you say, you know, between the Divine Nine that when you see those guys, you like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, Pete, I don't, because when you're number one, you don't really look behind you. You don't look beneath. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You looking up. You're not looking down. So rivalries. I mean, hey, I don't know. I mean,
hey, enough said. I guess when you claim to be number one, what else can I say?
When you lead the pace, I mean, it's when you lead the pace, the scenery always changes.
Okay.
When you following the leader, the scene never changes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, hey.
Our scenery is always changing. I'll just leave it at
that. Again, I have nothing to do with this. I'm not. Don't come up. Look, don't run up on my house.
Shout out to the Qs and the Alphas, man, and the Sigmas. It's all love, but yeah, we do that a lot of times. I've got a good friend of mine, man, who's a Sigma. And we rib each other all the time, man. We do. Right. We get each other all the time. You know, we'll pick it down like Sigmas will call them the Smurfs, you know, because of their colors or whatever. But I've got some good friends. I got some good friends that are. Matter of fact, one of my good friends is a Q, because his daughter and my daughter growing up were like besties. Okay. So he and I would go at it all the time. And he crossed the line one time. He came to the house. He brought his daughter over. They was going to hang out or whatever. He came in the house barking and stomping. I said, oh, hell no. You won't be doing that in my house. That was a lot. Oh, yeah. So a couple of weeks later, I was taking my daughter over to his house. So I come in there and I brought my cane. And I did my little stroll. He come running down the steps. Oh, you ain't going to come do that? I said, nah, bro. Fair game, baby. But it was all love.
It's all love, though. It's all love.
It is. And like you said, we do have these friendly rivalries within the Divine Nine. But at the end of the day, we all have the underlying theme of service to our community. It's all about being college educated people coming back to our communities and helping in any way we can. You know, you got teachers, doctors, lawyers, community activists, so on and so forth. So we all feel it's a duty for us to play some kind of support in sustaining and building our community. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier, Like I was saying earlier with, if you ever watched like voting drives, like people signing up to vote, you will see, if you open your eyes, you'll see a lot of the fraternities and sororities out there, you know, trying to get people signed up to vote so we can make a difference. And and just trying to educate people on various topics. Like the latest thing was the COVID thing. We're trying to give people the information that they need, the right information that they need, so that they can make their decisions. Of course, whether you do get vaccinated, I don't want to get too far off topic, but I'm just basically what I'm saying is anything that affects the community, whether it's politics, whether it's medicine, jobs, anything of that matter. When I say we, I'm talking about the Divine Nine. I would be so bold as to say are at the forefront of trying to help, make it happen for our community.
Okay. Now, being a part of the Capitals, what type of connections have you've grown, through the years, from being a freshman at A&T to now? What kind of connection have you built, whether it's with, your fellow brothers or within the Divine Nine? How many connections have you
Man,
built?
I had it's been a ton, man. And it's funny because I know when I became a Noop a while back, a lot of brothers was telling me, yo, you have just entered a vast network that normally people wouldn't be able to get into.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's I remember it wasn't too long ago when I was out of work. You know what I'm saying? I had brothers sending me jobs left and right. Hey, Chad, look into this. Hey, Chad, check this out. Hey, Chad, I got a buddy that's a director over here. Send me your resume. And it's like, that's just one small aspect. You know what I'm saying? That's just one small aspect. I mean, you got brothers that you can lean on when you want to talk about stuff or get together and just connect. I remember, what was that? I think I was at a restaurant. Me and my wife was out at a restaurant, and we were having dinner, or whatever. And I had this bracelet on. Matter of fact, I had this bracelet on, and there was a Noop across the room. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? He had nothing on that I could see or recognize that would make him, make me know that he was a Noop. But he saw my bracelet, and my wife and I was sitting there eating dinner, or whatever. And after we had dinner, I asked for the check, and it was like it was paid for.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I'm just saying that for me, the brotherhood is so real on so many aspects. It's not just about paying for somebody's meal. You know what I'm saying? It's about the connectivity, the connections, to be able to, hey, whatever the situation is, you got a brother that you can call to bounce ideas off of, or hey, I may need help, doing a what do you call it? Not a business loan, but a business. When you're trying to get a business started, you got a business plan. You know what I'm saying? Instead of researching online trying to figure it out, I know of a frat brother who runs his own. But hey, man, John, I need about an hour of your time. I need to put together a business plan.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Let's get together. We'll chop it up. I'll give you the guidelines. You take it and run with it. You know what I'm saying? Just any and everything, man. It's so cool to be able to have somebody like that. And then in like well, no, I won't go there, but yeah, just to have somebody like any aspect in your life that you've got somebody that you can connect with. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm here in Atlanta. I'm a part of the College Park chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And it's funny because if I got brothers in the chapter, I can lean on and talk to them, be like, hey, Chad, I don't have that expertise, but I know a brother in the Atlanta chapter. His name is such and such and such and such. Here's his number. And it's nothing, man, for you to shoot numbers and send information, because once they know you a brother, it's like, it's all good. The walls are dropped. You know what I'm saying? You are making what you need, bro. How can I help you? Now, of course, it's not true in every situation. Like I told you before, you got bad apples in each and every situation or organization. So, but for the most part, it's great, man. It's beautiful.
Man, that's fantastic to hear, man. It's just, and a lot of people don't understand the ins and outs of, of being in a fraternity or being in a sorority, and the things that you had to sacrifice, and some things that you had to maybe give up, or or whatever, to become a part of this brotherhood or this sisterhood in these Black fraternities. And it's just good to, with this situation popping up with Issa Rae and Amanda Seale, it's good to have somebody that actually knows, that can come from a perspective of knowledge,
Right.
in the situation. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this today, knowing that as my brother, I know that you are affiliated and you are a member, a card carrying member of one of the Divine Nine. And it's always good to hear when a firestorm happens, how it affects actual people that's inside inside the walls of one of these organizations, which of course you're not an AKA, of course, but you know, if somebody on Insecure was wearing your colors and had on your shield or flashed your hand signal or your, you know,
bruh,
your
let me
call,
tell you, it's gonna be a problem real quick.
Okay, yeah, and it's good to know that you know how serious this is taken and how, you know, this is something that's earned and not given, and that, you know, you just can't, you just can't, you know, throw our you know, our hand signs or wear our shield or this, that, and the third, because again, like you said earlier, this is a business,
and you did not earn that right.
Yeah, this is a business, and even as a person on the outside looking in who's not of that community, I've seen issues where with folk that
what you seen, MLK? I've been to the mountaintop and I've seen.
Yeah, bruh. And speaking of, you know, you went to A&T and some friends of ours, you know, mutual friends of ours that, you know, many moons ago went to an A&T homecoming, and some Qs was walking the yard, and we were walking the yard, and a young gentleman who was not in our group wasn't wearing the Q colors because it's homecoming. Everybody wearing their colors. Homecoming weekend. So this young brother didn't have the colors on, and he's throwing up the Q hand sign and barking and doing all of this stuff. And they immediately went to this young brother and was like, whatever question they asked, I guess, what chapter you from, and who this, that, and the third, X, Y, and Z. And evidently this young brother didn't have the answers that were needed. And
so they had prayer meetings.
Yeah, they had a come to Jesus moment. They you know, they talked about it, and you know, in a very specific way. They
call hands.
They discussed it, and then that young brother knew after that not to do those such things. So I've seen firsthand how.
It's no different than a family member. You're not gonna let anybody come at your dad cross.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna let anybody come at your mom cross.
Right.
Somebody that you love.
Right.
It's no different. It's a family. It's no different.
Right. Right. Man, Chad, this has been a very eye-opening podcast as far as going inside of Greek or Black fraternities and Black sororities and an in-depth look of how serious this is and the connections that you can make and the brotherhood and the sisterhood that you have in that community. And I think from this point forward, I think, you know, Issa Rae and the people on their crew, which going down the line, I don't know what these episodes after this are going to look like. I'm sure they're already in the can and already filmed, and I'm sure nothing's going to change. But somebody may be knocking on Issa Rae's door with some paperwork here in a few.
I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure that that corporate office from AKA is going to move forward. I really believe so. I don't know for a fact. I'm not in that organization, but I really believe like they're going to move forward on this situation. They're Issa Rae and her crew are going to have to answer to their negligence. In my opinion, their negligence, because like I said before, that's a simple email or phone call for an hour to the executives of AKA saying, hey, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to do it. Is it okay? Does it align with your principles? Because we don't want to have any disrespect. We want to do it. We want to do it right. And see, right off the gate, they would have known, because the AKAs would have told them, if any of your members, if any of your actresses are not actual members of our organization, they cannot wear that shield. They cannot. See, that would have been known off the gate. The colors, we may not be able to do too much about the colors. You probably can get away with that. Or
even saying that they are AKAs.
Right. Change the name.
True.
On the show. Call them AK Lambdas or AK, whatever. Change the name. Change the shield.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably get away with the colors, but if you change the shield and change the name,
Mm-hmm.
people will know that you're what you're referencing. Those that go to HBCUs and people who are part of the Divine Nine, they'll know who you're referencing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
And even in Chad, even in that, if we go back to like old television shows, like A Different World, where it was basically on a college campus, or we look at different movies. What was the movie that the dancing movie?
Oh,
where
Stomp the Yard.
Stomp the Yard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had fraternity, but they were not the names of actual
fraternity. But we knew, you're right. But everybody knew which fraternity was representing what actual fraternity, and that's the best way to do it. I mean, if you want to give homage, or if you want to pay tribute to the Black Greek organizations, then that's how you go about it. Now, if you really want to get the original, if you really want the organization, then you need to sit down with them and be like, hey, we're trying to do this show or this movie or whatever. Because I've even seen on what's that show? A Different World. Mm-hmm. I've even seen the Noops on A Different World.
Right.
But you better believe there was written express consent from Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated in order to do that. And I guarantee you those guys that were wearing the letters were Noops.
But you come from a perspective of with that show, with A Different World, you're talking about a Bill Cosby.
Yes.
Who knows. Yeah. Whether
he's a Omega Psi Phi.
That's what I'm saying. So Bill Cosby would know that he needed permission from your brotherhood, that for them to be on A Different World back in the day. Obviously, Issa Rae either was too arrogant, or maybe she was just ignorant of the fact.
Could be
that the ignorant of the fact that I need to go to the AKAs and get actual permission from them instead of just throwing them on my show.
But I'm thinking, Pete, as somebody with a lot to lose, because you own this show, I'm assuming she owns this show. You want to make sure and take proper precautions because you don't want the backlash. Like I was telling you earlier, if you had something dealing with the NFL on the show, for a doggone fact, I need to go holler at the NFL to make sure, hey, if I show this clip or if I have this, is it okay? Or whatever. Okay, here's the form you need to fill out. Okay, we approve it or not approve, whatever. However they do it. I don't know. I don't understand why you would not go to get that organization's blessings before you try to put them on the show. I don't get that, especially in the past where you've seen this done before. This ain't new. Having a Black Greek sorority or fraternity on a show, this ain't new. So it just seems as though it was just, I don't know if it was laziness or just flat out neglect. I don't know, but
Chad, for people that's watching and listening, give a little insight into our community. Every now and again, we'll get a situation where we're like, it'll be good.
Yeah.
From a situation of, okay, they Black, we Black, they should have no problem with it. If we spotlight them on our show because they Black and we Black. So it should be all good. But you can't do that in every situation. That's especially when we're talking about business, because you wouldn't do it to like I said, you wouldn't do it to the NFL. You wouldn't do it to the NBA. You wouldn't do it to any other organization. So
why do it to us?
So why do it in this situation? Yes, Issa Rae, and this looks bad on her.
It does.
Right. It looks bad on her because, again, Chad, like you said, all you have to do is your due diligence.
That's it.
All you have to do is make a phone call. You Issa Rae, I'm sure you have no problem getting in contact with the president of the AKA organization.
Which would have probably been, I don't want to speak for the AKAs, but I'm saying which would have probably been more than happy to sit down with her.
Of course.
And figure out a way to get actual AKAs on the show.
There you go. And that would have probably been an ask.
Exactly.
If you want to use our shield, this is what we ask. We got some sisters in Hollywood that need a break.
Not only, yes, that's first and foremost. But my thing is making sure also, because in order for that to happen, the AKAs would want to know and make sure that the show and the message aligns with the AKA's principles and morals too. So if the show is on that level and the AKAs are like, look, we've got AKAs out in that area. Why don't you just bring them on as a cameo and have them in the background or give them a minor part while they're wearing their shield? I mean, it's great publicity for AKAs, and really they don't need it. But I'm saying if that's what you're trying to do in the show, we want to work with you. We're not saying we don't want to work with you. But if we're going to do this, we need to make sure we do it right because that's ours.
And then especially with us. And then especially with two of the bigger characters on the show claiming to be AKAs. Why would you not? Why would you not? But obviously it wasn't done.
Well, the characters are claiming to be AKAs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Even with the characters claiming to be AKAs, would you not want to get some approval from the AKAs and like, look, we want to, shine a spotlight on your sorority. Can we use, your shield, or can we use your letters or your colors, whatever the case may be? Just even in that, without even the shield being talked about. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, Issa Rae is she may be receiving some paperwork really, really soon from,
if she hasn't already.
Yeah, exactly. If she hasn't already. Chad, I appreciate giving us some insight on, Black fraternities and sororities, and about the Kappas and how y'all were founded. Your group was founded. Your fraternity was founded, and it's eye-opening to see, brothers and sisters coming together like this, and building a community, building a community and a family. It's great to see, and I've learned a lot in this discussion, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And Pete, not just for you, but for the listeners and the viewers out there too, that may have had the questions you had or were curious, about the organization, because I know a lot of them get negative light shown on them out all the time when, certain situations happen that shouldn't have happened. And, the community as a whole is quick to want to throw up their hands and be like, oh, see, that's why I don't mess with those orgs. That's why I don't do this. That's why I don't do that. I mean, if you got a family, whatever the last name is, and one of the family members was a drug addict and he wound up overdosing or, doing something crazy. Oh, that's why I don't fool with the such and such as they, nah, you can't take one apple and make it the whole group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That whole family is not that one drug addict. Just like that one organization is not that one bad apple that did something they weren't supposed to do, or made the org look bad or whatever. But people are quick to do that. But for the most part, man, these organizations are, once you become a part of any of them, it's a life membership.
Right.
It is a lifelong. Now I can't say that for the white fraternities organization. I don't know if that's how they do it or if that's how they get down. But in the Divine Nine, if you become a part of that, that's for life. It's a lifelong commitment to the organization, and to the organization really means to, their pillars, objectives, whatever, scholarship, service, education, whatever it is, that's your lifelong commitment to that, to your community. So, we take it serious.
Oh, and one last note before we move on to our book of the week and inventor of the week and all of that good stuff. One thing I can say about the Kappas, y'all throw a mean party, boy. Woo!
Come on, man. We do more than party. That's all you.
No, I know. We've talked about the community service. We've talked about that. Boy, woo!
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
I had to throw that in there, man.
So you enjoyed yourself, huh?
Yes, sir.
You're a fool, man. You're a fool. Well, thank you, brother Hunt. We appreciate that.
Man, that's community service. Sometimes that's community service.
Mental health break, right?
That's mental health. Yeah, exactly. That's a mental health break.
What's up with the book of the week, man? What's going on?
Man, our book of the week this week is an autobiography by the comedian Trevor Noah.
Mm.
If you know who Trevor Noah is, he's great stand-up comedian, host of the Daily Show on Comedy Central. He has an autobiography out that it was written in 2016 called Born a Crime, and it's basically detailing his life in South Africa, which his father is a white Swiss man, and his mother is, of course, a black South African. And it goes through
Mm-hmm.
his life as far as basically then his brothers and sisters having to hide, because, at that point in South Africa, interracial relationships and marriages, were frowned upon, actually illegal. So mother and father had to hide their relationship, had to hide the kids, and all sorts of things that he had to go through to get here and become the star that he is now. Very good book, very interesting read about, his life and the struggles that he went through, as far as from being literally born a crime in South Africa and to where he is today. So it is autobiography, Born a Crime, by the comedian Trevor Noah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say that. Interesting. Golly, a must have. Yeah. And that book's been out for a minute too. I remember it coming out, but I for some reason,
2016.
man, for some reason I just thought it was gonna be, I don't know. But wow.
Just the things that him and his family had to go through to basically keep them a secret, and keep their parents' relationship a secret, and yeah. And you would think, but again, we're talking about South Africa. So
Right.
I mean,
Okay. Wow. That kind of brought me down a little bit. Do you know to keep something like that a secret for so? I mean, do you understand it? That
well, I mean, it's no different than here in America.
Yeah.
Before it was accepted here in America. I mean, you basically dealing with the same thing, actually.
It's a lot of stress.
Yep.
A lot of stress. All right, folks, we're gonna move on to the Black Inventor for this week. Y'all gonna love this. The woman behind Skype, MajicJack, and more. People using Skype right now, and we have this sister to thank for that. Her name is Dr. Marion Cook. Skype, MajicJack, Vonage, and other internet-based audio/video and text communication applications wouldn't be around if it weren't for the VOIP technology, which is Voice over Internet Protocol, which was invented by Dr. Marion Croak. Excuse me, I don't know what I said earlier, but her name is Croak, Croak. Dr. Marion Croak, an African-American PhD holder in quantitative analysis from the University of Southern California. Dr. Croak started her career at AT&T, where she worked for over 30 years and served as senior vice president of research and development of that company. She predicted that IP and the internet would be a hit, which motivated her to develop a technology that would transform the internet. And just like that, voila, thanks to her, we now enjoy the perks of VoIP, like Skype calls, video conferencing, and online messaging. Now, Dr. Croak holds over 125 patents in VoIP technology and manages more than 2,000 engineers and computer scientists responsible for AT&T's enterprise and consumer wireline and mobility services. She's also currently serving as Google's vice president of engineering.
Wow.
Again, her name is Dr. Marion Croak.
And let me
please
jump
do it
on top of that with my famous 3 words. We are great.
Yes, Lord.
Oh man, we great. We are great people, boy. I tried, man. Woo.
Yep, Dr. Marion Croak. Skype, VOIP. Boy, who would have done? Why don't they? I'm not going to keep beating myself up over that. I'm not. I know why. That was, I guess, what you call it, rhetorical question. I know why. I know why. But like we always say, if we don't do this and highlight our people in the Black and brown community who are doing things, then who else is going to? That's huge, man.
That is, yeah. I mean, we're not doing what we're doing right now without this system.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, as I'm reading, what she did, I'm like, all right.
We great, man. We great. Simple as that.
Oh my gosh. All right. Bible verse, a quote for the week is coming from Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. And it's so funny that I found this because in my youth, when I used to sing in the children's choir, this verse was actually a song that our choir director, he wrote a choir song from this. I don't know if it was him or somebody, maybe it was somebody else, but somebody wrote a song based off of this verse. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, I remember that song, but it's actually a verse. But I'm going to read it again. It's Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, and it reads, "Yet those who wait for the Lord will gain new strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not get tired. They will walk and not become weary." Those that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. So if you weary, if you tired, just wait on the Lord. Just wait. He's probably never around when you want him or need him, but he's always on time. If you can marinate on that. Your time ain't his time. Your ways are not his ways. Your thoughts are not his thoughts. So, but when he shows up, it is always on time. It is always on time. So, yeah, that's Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. And before we leave, I want to give you my quote from Brother Marcus Garvey. And that is to never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. Therefore, remove yourself as far as possible from ignorance and seek as far as possible to be intelligent. Marcus Garvey. P, did we cover everything, man? Did we get everything in, man?
Yeah, we got it in, brother. We got it in. I'm trying to tell you.
Great show.
Another great one, man.
Yeah. Great show. Great show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in for another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. Be safe, be blessed, and we are out.
Peace.